All right, we're recording. All right. Hey guys, John Combs here with David Karsh. I'm just going to go over a few things to help supplement the small group privates that I'm doing. So we're just going to do a few videos here. I'm going to shoot this all in one take. It's like probably about 10 minutes here. And it's just going to be various drills that you can do to help out your training. And remember, a lot of what we go over in class is going to be supplemented by what you do outside of class. So you can learn some stuff in class, but to really put it into your head, it's going to take a lot of work outside of class. So, let's start off here with some stance drills. We want to make sure, so I'm going to have Dave step over here. So I'm just going to check the camera here first, make sure everything's all set. Get you centered up, Dave. Dave, could you take one step in that direction? Perfect. Alright, so when we have a good stance here, we want to make sure that we're a little bit more than shoulder width apart. Not too much more though. The more shoulder width the farther apart we get, we begin to sacrifice some of the power that we generate. So if I have Dave standing in an obnoxiously wide stance, so he takes a real big step out like this, and I ask him to take a big double leg, he's not going to be able to generate that much force, he's not going to be able to move that far forward, so Dave, shoot a double. He doesn't be able to get that good big of a step, so let's have him step back up. He has his feet shoulder width apart with a narrow stance. You want to make sure your big toe can also come into this crease here, and that your big toe doesn't really go much farther back than your heel. You want to keep it along that line there. If it goes too far back, once again, we're going to run into the same problem where there's too much length in our legs to generate appropriate force. So now with our feet in this position, shoulder width apart, big toe no farther back than your heel, we lower into our stance, we take a double leg, and we can cover a lot of distance. So that's why we're looking to have a good stance there. All right. Now motion drills. When we're moving in our stance, we want to make sure that we step forward, that we begin our steps with the appropriate foot, and that while we're in our stance, our weight is being taken up by our posterior chain. We want to make sure that it is the muscles of the back of the leg that absorb our force, not the front. If I'm here, letting my front muscles take my weight, Dave could just take his head, pull my head down, and I can't resist very much, just push my head. I can't resist well here, because none of the big muscles of the butt, the hamstring, the calves are being engaged here. I'm trying to stand up with just these front muscles, which are very weak. So, you want to push your butt back, drive the knees out, lower the level of your butt, head comes up. Now all of my big muscles of my body are engaged here. So when Dave goes to pull my head down, I have the ability to fight, not because I'm super strong, but because the right muscles of my body are engaged. So, to review all of that again, we're here in our stance, no wider than shoulder width or a little bit more than that. Your big toe right alongside your heel, pushing into the big muscles of our back, we hang out right through here. Now, if we're going to move forward or to the right, or anywhere along this this diagonal plane of the body, our right leg is going to begin our first step. So if we step forward, Dave and I are both going to start with that right leg, and then our back leg is going to come up. One more step forward, back leg comes up. Always staying in this stance, extending out of it and returning back to it. Now, if we take a step to the right, we begin with that right leg, and our left leg comes back up. Now, if we step to our left or behind us, along this diagonal plane into that direction, our left leg leads us. So we take a step to the left, extend, retract. Extend, retract. Now we're going to take a step to the right, extend, retract. Now from here we're going to go back, extend, retract. Now how this could get a little confusing is that we start going into these diagonal planes. And you just need to step with whichever leg feels most natural. Just remember, it's an extension away and then a retraction. So if I'm going to step into this plane over here diagonally, the left leg can lead, but we don't want to have it come too much farther in front of our other stance here. So it begins to look a little funky. Extension up, through here. If we're going to step up in that plane, it makes a bit more sense. And if we go back diagonally, we come through to here, and then retract up there. Okay, so that's how we're going to move in our stance here. Now, a good movement drill you can do are up and down these lines. We're training here, so I'm going to have Dave demonstrate this for you here. So I'm going to have Dave start over here on this line. He's going to be in a good stance, remembering to stay in the posterior chain, knees driven out, feet not too wide apart, not too far straight forward. He's going to walk from this line to that line over there, making sure his feet stay in the right stance. Extension, retract. Extension, retract. Extension, retract. See how he's moving forward, but his stance stays in the right area? Once he hits this line over here, he's going to begin moving back the other direction, moving in that plane, making sure he's staying in his good stance. Okay, so remember though, I'll conclude on this note, that when you're using a proper wrestling stance and everything's in position through here, this should exhaust you. You are not in a proper stance unless you feel exhausted after about 30 seconds of it. So if you feel tired, you're doing it right.